NXT took place tonight in its home of Orlando, Florida at the WWE Performance Center. To start the show off, we were outside as Ava was talking to Hank and Tank outside of the PC. They promised not to interfere in Dark State's match, which was the main event. They did that. I mean, they didn't interfere, but they did still fight them. We'll get to that later. You had Lash Legend kicking off the show in the building. She took on Nia Jax to start the show. So they really showcased Lash Legend's power in the match. The fans were really into it, and they had them for the whole match basically. And that's a positive for both of them, especially Lash, who they want to push. So as they showcased Lash's power, they had the steel steps set up right by the announce booth, and Lash had Nia up for a fall-away slam. It looked like she was going to slam her through the table, but Nia just fell onto Lash. She couldn't get her over her head, and Nia went through Lash. She fell onto Lash, and Lash fell through the announce booth. So Lash took the bump. Nia lands on top of her. They go back in the ring. Lash has Nia up for a powerbomb in the corner, but she can't hit it. So Nia falls on her and hits Annihilator at the same time. I think they took the exact same finish from a match Nia had with Lyra Valkyria last year in the Queen of the Ring final. Last year's, not this year's. That's how she won it against Lyra Valkyria. That's how it went here. She hit the Annihilator onto Lash. Then she hit a second Annihilator and she got the win. So Nia Jax defeats Lash Legend. Kelly Kincaid was backstage. She interviewed Dark State. I don't care about Dark State. They showed Chelsea Green and Srika Hervis arriving backstage in an elevator. She talks to some of the women backstage. It's mostly people from Evolve and LFG, and the one they focus on is Kendall Gray. It sets up a match later tonight with Alba Fire and Kendall Gray, who they obviously see as a prospect. Charlie Dempsey took on Joe Hendry. So when Hendry made his entrance, he just seemed like such an ordinary guy. I remember like a year and a half ago, wherever it was, maybe not a year and a half, maybe about a year ago actually. You know, Hendry was the most over person in NXT. They went freaking crazy when they did the Joe Hendry. Everyone sang the song. They loved him. Just seems like an ordinary guy now. And, yeah, it was just okay. It was an okay match. He was still over, and he won the match with a chokeslam. But, I mean, yeah, he's all his aura is gone, if you will. Josh Briggs headed to the ring. We saw him going there. I don't see much in him, to be honest. So then we went to Lola Vice and Kehlani Jordan warming up in the locker room backstage. Jada Parker walked in and says she's going to win next week and she's going to face the NXT Women's Champion. I have to say, I think Jada definitely has the most potential of those three, but I like Kehlani a lot. I think she has potential. I do think Lola has potential if she improves a bit more in the ring. So we had Josh Briggs out in front of the live crowd. He cut a promo on Yoshiki Inamura. I thought it sucked. He challenged him to a match in Philly next week, and he wanted it to be a Philadelphia street fight in front of that raucous ECW crowd. Yoshiki walks out and calls Briggs a jackass. He accepted the match and attacked Briggs. He then hit a crossbody off the top rope, taking out Briggs and a bunch of security guards who were trying to separate them. So they did a good job setting up that match. I hope Inamura wins. I don't see much in Briggs. It just seems so generic to me. Josh Briggs, Jasper Troy, just like these clunkers. Big guys who look like they were former football players. I don't see much. I'm sorry. Jordan Grace has an exclusive interview with Kelly Kincaid, who's doing it, and Kelly's a very good interviewer, by the way. They talk about Blake body shaming her, their initial friendship, and how it fell apart, and then they move on to the match they're going to have at Heatwave, and next week on NXT in Philly, they will come face to face. I'm sure they'll have a very good promo. I'm looking forward to it. And by the way, Jordan Grace, I think her husband had, he's a wrestler. He had a stroke or something, and luckily he's fine. I think Jonathan Gresham, that's his name. Thankfully he's fine, but wow, that's definitely scary. So best wishes to Jordan and her husband. They show Blake talking to Ava Rain in her office, and this was after the interview. Blake, it was just really brief. We didn't see too much of Blake this week, but we're going to see a lot of her next week, and then they're setting up the big match that she's going to have with Jordan Grace at Heatwave, which in all reality really be for the NXT Women's Championship, but for whatever reason, it's not. JC Jane shouldn't be champion. It should be Jordan Grace defending her title against Blake Monroe. We go to Fatal Influence being interviewed backstage before their tag team match against Lola Vice and Kehlani Jordan. So as JC Jane is talking, I think she throws Jasmine Nix under the bus for getting both her and Fallon Henley in this match. So we see both Masha Slamovich and Ash by Elegance arriving in the building, and it concerns JC. They then head to the ring for their match. Then we see Lainey Reed wishing JC Jane luck before their tag match. She only wished JC luck, not Fallon. So I think there's a possibility that Lainey either joins Fatal Influence or they kick out Jasmine and give it to Lainey, or maybe they kick out Fallon. I'm not sure. But I think Fallon, I just feel like of the three, she has the most potential. I really think Fallon can be a star. So we see Moose, Obafemi, Javon Evans, and Trick Williams all in the locker room before their tag team match with Dark State, which is the main event. They're talking over strategy. Hank and Tank appear in the locker room. And I think they made an appearance earlier in the show when they were talking to Chelsea Green. I think this is the second time we've seen them. We go to Lola Vice making her entrance, and then Kehlani Jordan makes her entrance as they face Fallon Henley and JC Jane, who were already in the ring. You saw JC dancing to Lola's theme song. She was even doing Lola's dance. So they show Masha in the crowd and Ash by Elegance, and if you don't know who she is the former Dana Brooke. She is now in TNA. I believe she was released a couple years ago. So the match is good. The faces were over. I really like both Kehlani and Lola. I think they definitely have a lot more potential than JC, even though JC's champion. Fallon, as I said, I do like. Jasmine kept interfering in the match. Lola Vice eventually kicks her. Then she hits a spinning back fist on JC Jane, and then she tags in Kehlani Jordan, who hits a split-legged moonsault on JC and gets the win. So Kehlani pinning the NXT champion. It looks like she's next in line for a title shot. And she did get a count-out victory last week against Blake Monroe. So hopefully they push Kehlani. I'd like to see her as champion. She had a good run when she was the NXT Women's North American Champion last year. They do an NXT spotlight on Jasper Troy ahead of his match with, almost forgot his name. It's not good. Ricky Sainz next week in Philly. It's not because Ricky, just Jasper Troy. He's just such a clunker, such a shitter. Just some big jacked up guy, some former football guy. Don't care about Jasper Troy. Don't want to see him pushed as much. Just sick of seeing him pushed like the way he is. They have to promote LFG, and it's hurting NXT. The fact that they have to promote all these other things that WWE is doing, whether it's LFG, Evolve, or the TNA partnership, or the AAA partnership, just feels like NXT is being stretched out and being used as a platform for WWE to produce and promote its other stuff, its other content, its partnerships, rather than elevating NXT, and I feel like, I don't want to say anymore. The last couple of weeks have been good. This was a good show, by the way, this NXT show, but I am kind of sick of that when they do just too much outside stuff. Anyway, Kendall Gray was out next. They promoted that she was 61-0 as a wrestler, an amateur wrestler. Talk on Alba Fire. Yeah, so Kendall has superstar potential. You can see it. She looks like a star. She's very attractive. And she has the legitimate background with which very few people have. She has all the tools here, and I don't think she should be losing to Alba Fire. I'm sorry. I like Alba. I like her as Kaylee Ray. I think she's probably the best member, my favorite member of the Secret Harvest, to be honest, right now. But shouldn't be beating Kendall Gray at this stage of her career. So you had Ethan Page making a run-in, and they were really, they were doing a showcase for Kendall here. She was doing a lot of power moves, but Ethan made a run-in with Piper, and eventually Alba Fire raked the eyes. And they were showing Ethan Page talking to Chelsea Green in the background and backstage before he came out. But Alba eventually rakes the eyes, and she hits the gory bomb onto Kendall Gray and wins. So Alba Fire pins Kendall Gray here. Ethan Page cut a promo, but Tavion Heights interrupts him. He brings out Tara May Steele, who I believe was the LFG Season 1 winner, along with Jasper Troy for the men. She takes out everyone. She suplexes Ethan Page, and she suplexes Piper and Alba and Chelsea. So no, not Chelsea. Chelsea wasn't there, but suplexes everyone. So they're going to do a thing where Tavion Heights and Tara May Steele are going to be defending America against the evil Canadians, Chelsea Green and Ethan Page, along with the Scots, Piper Niven and Alba Fire. So, Team America versus Team Canada and Scotland. Okay. JC Jane is yelling at her partners, both Fallon and Jasmine, as she's walking into Ava Rain's office. Ava then tells her she's defending the TNA Knockouts title at Heatwave in a triple threat with both Ash by Elegance and Masha Slamovich, and triple threat match. So I don't mind that match. I think it actually can be pretty decent. Eva then announces a 6-woman tag next week in Philadelphia. Chelsea Green's backstage. She's talking to Ethan Page in the locker room after the match. They have her own next week's show, which is in Philly, I think at the old ECW Arena. We go to the main event. Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Obafemi, and Moose against Dark State. So this was a good match. You had a lot of showcases from Javon Evans, who easily, of all the guys here, has the most potential. I think he has a lot of potential just because he's so athletic. They just let him wrestle. I think that's all they need to do. Just let him do crazy stuff. People will get behind him. So Dark State won after the faces implode, basically. Trick just lets Javon get pinned. And Trick's, I don't know if they're still doing the thing where he's the head of Dark State, but they're kind of playing it up still. Hank and Tank came and fought them right as the show ended. And that was NXT this week. I thought overall it was a decent show. I've been complaining a lot about NXT for a lot of things they've been doing in the summer. I don't think it's been a good summer, but I think the last few weeks, the last couple of weeks, August, to be honest, has been a much better month than July was. So I'll give NXT that. I actually like the show tonight, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. We have next week's show, which is going to be big in Philadelphia at the old ECW Arena. And then following that, on the following Sunday, after the Philly show, is going to be Heatwave, which is their next PLE. And the card, I think, is decent. I think it'll be a better show than the Great American Bash was. So we'll see what they do with Heatwave. And I do feel like NXT is starting to get back on track as of late.